disconnected.
All right. All right. All right, everybody. All right. Sorry I'm late. Oh, my goodness. 8:45. I apologize. Craziness. But we are here. I do apologize for being late. And that has to do with the information I got. It was a lot. So, about. So, a lot has been talked about. A lot has been given to me that blows my mind of what's being released. So, I'm very happy. Truthfully, I'm trying to get some people in here. Hopefully, I do get some. It's later than I thought it would be, but we are here. So, at least I decided to still come on. I was probably just gonna wait till tomorrow, but I was like, nah, let's get on here and do this. I did promise that information between 6 and 7, which unfortunately the phone call took longer with everything that was given to me and told to me. So it's going to be very, very mind-boggling. Very mind-boggling. So give me a minute here.
Bluetooth disconnected.
Junior, stop. All right. So, unfortunately, Drunk is not in here yet. Unfortunately. But anyway, let's get on to it. So, there is going to be releases of things that I've talked about. So, maybe that is why I've not been harassed in that. For those things that I brought up with Antarctica, so there is finally going to be releases on that. Now, unfortunately, it's not everything that I was hoping it would be. The only thing they're really going to bring up is the fact of that there has been architectural finds, pyramids, and other things that have been found, along with frozen mammoths, saber-toothed tigers, and such, other animals as well. They are going to release facts about dragons. So finally, they're going to release about dragons. And the biggest shock of all is they're going to release about giants, Nephilim. So they're finally going to admit about this stuff. And like I said, they're going to release about what we call Bigfoot and have been calling Bigfoot for centuries, which are actually Neanderthals that still exist on this planet. Eventually, also, they're going to release sorry to those that are flat Earth theorists. They're going to release about the Earth. Now, are they going to release everything that the Earth is 20 times bigger and that's why you won't be able to get to the curvature? I am not 100% sure on that. Neither is my source that brought it to my attention with everything. But that isn't all. Russia is going to be releasing about the female that was found in a cave. These people that were mining broke through a wall and found a cave and whole cave system with petroglyphs, some art, what we call treasures, and then finding a tomb, basically an open tomb, somewhat of an open tomb, I should say, with a top casing that looked like glass, and it was not glass. Studies have been done on it, and it's a very, very weird, weird substance that they're going to release. That's basically like diamond. Mind-boggling. That also the test results leading to her existence, showing that she is millions years old, and the substance that she was in kept her so well preserved it looked like she was a living person that was just sleeping. And this is what these miners described when they found this cave and went in it and seen this female encased in this. And what's mind-boggling is that they even said she just looked like she was sleeping. But there was this liquid. It was like a pinkish liquid she was in. Now, it's described that when Russian government came in, made them basically the same thing as the United States, NDAs, and told them to keep their mouth shut or they would be imprisoned or worse. Now, when they took her out of that liquid, she right away immediately basically mummified and disintegrated somewhat. Insane, except for the bones. So, it is very strange in that. Now, you might think I heard this one and that's the only one I've heard about, but there's actually multiple of these, and it's just not in Russia. Not just in Russia. There is actually a multitude of these in the United States. You all know where the Grand Canyon is. There's parts of the Grand Canyon that are very highly restricted after an exploration. And for some reason, boom, labeled off. And this could get you, taken out and off if you go near it or go into it. Some might be jailed, depending. I guess it depends on where you're at. From what I heard from my source, and it's just always been strange that it's basically like Antarctica, except just government-wise. So this is where I heard stories before, and now my source has confirmed that inside there was an opening, and it was like a doorway. Strange doorway that you would touch, and it opened. And they went in, and it was a whole, you could tell it was well done. And there was hieroglyphs, and everything along the walls going in. And then inside was a massive opening. And when they lit it up, there was pyramids inside. And not just pyramids, there was homes as well. So this is like a large opening that's a vast city. And they went into those pyramids, and these were different pyramids. They were not like the ones in Giza and that. These pyramids were basically like you see in the movies with, Egyptians and that. So you could go in, it was like a temple or something, but it was like a very well protected temple. And inside that temple is these sarcophagus like things, but different. And they had the same glassy like top. And inside are these beings, human beings looking beings. And they were as well in this pink, weird substance. And it looked like they were sleeping. But we're not just talking about females here, we're talking about males as well. Now, there was a multitude of females, a multitude of males. So it's very, very weird and strange. Now, this isn't the only time that something like this has been found and silenced. A long time ago, in the 1800s, there was a gentleman. I can't remember his name. He went into a mountain, and because he found an opening, and he was a scientist and archaeologist as well. He was both actually. Very intelligent man. He studied archaeology first, and then from his findings, he wanted to become a scientist. And after becoming a scientist, he was doing very well, and he was very renowned. And he was just admiring this very rare mountain that just seemed to be wasn't off limits at the time, but it just seemed weird because there was this energy coming from this mountain. So he was always at this mountain. He'd like to go there and try to, study everything that he could find and so on and so forth. And he eventually came to an opening. Now, it wasn't like the one in the Grand Canyon where you touched it and it opened. And it was just an opening like a regular cave, basically. Went inside. It was very fast and deep. And it went downward, strangely. But eventually he did get to an opening. This place was littered with sarcophagus with massive, they were massive sarcophagus. And as well, pyramids, hieroglyphs, and so on and so forth in this mountain. So from his little exploration, he went back and gathered some people, and they were supposed to go off to go explore this mountain. But he ends up disappearing, strangely. Never to be seen again. And that's when all of a sudden, right away, that mountain was closed off to the public. And now you can't go near that mountain. You can't even get close to it. It's cut off. And it's so cut off that they took the roads out. They did everything to trails and everything that would lead you straight to this mountain. They did what made it impossible to get to it. And it's protected. So you will go and do some serious jail time. There is 2 people that have tried, and they're still in jail to this day. And this is in the 1900s. 1993. And they've been in jail. And they're not expected to be released. So it's very strange. And then you got to remember there was that cave-in God, I think it was Vietnam, and that there was this cave in, and they went in and found this massive ecosystem that was going on. So, like a hollow earth, basically. And it had its own ecosystem, its own plants that shouldn't even exist anymore. Okay, we're talking about in the prehistoric times plants, but it had its own river system and everything, right? Own forest, and all that stuff. And you haven't heard nothing anymore about it. I mean, there was a couple of things where they, saying scientists went in, blah, 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 but you don't hear nothing no more. Now, I've talked to my source, and it's very well believed that Journey to the Center of the Earth might not be just a made-up story. That's correct, ladies and gentlemen. It is believed that is no longer considered a made-up story. A lot of things have been found that is underground. We're talking about caves that people went in, and it turned out to be where people lived somehow, some way. And it goes farther back, and a lot of stuff being found about it. So it's mind-boggling. Now, with Nephilim, it's been a long story on that. And we're not just talking about overseas. We're talking about over here with natives. Even over there with natives, as far as you can see. Now, there is a story going around that I know is 100% true. Okay, there was a squadron that went in to this area. Some reason they disappeared. They sent in a rescue unit and found them laying around on the ground, grotesque and that. But they also found a cave, and out came this Nephilim with red hair, and he had an animal skin like loincloth on. They said he was about like 12 foot, if not bigger, and weighed 1,100 pounds. Now, I do not know how they got that weight or anything, but I do know for a fact that they got it encased, somehow got it to an airstrip, and a C-130 came, one of the biggest cargo planes there is, got it inside. The pilot came out and spoke about it. Before it was just a story, and then all of a sudden the pilot came out and spoke and said that it was true. To the T, described everything. This isn't the only time something with Nephilim has been mentioned. Even in the Bible. And I'm speaking about the old Bible. Okay, from the 1500s. Mentions about giants. Nephilim. Now, today's Bibles as well bring up about it. And there's a reason for it. There's always a reason. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, it's finally coming out. And I know there was a lot of us units that were sent in to archaeological digs that found. And we were either ordered to box them up or destroy them. It all, like I said, depended on where it was. If it's close to an area where we would not be able to secretly get it out there, then it was ordered for an automatic destroy. Get rid of it. NDAs were signed right away as well. And that was that. Most times we could, in the area where it was found, get it boxed up, get it out of there. Now, where does something like that go? Usually you would think it would go to a base, but no. It was taken over to the airport near the closest airport to the Smithsonian. From there, it was loaded up into trucks. From there to the Smithsonian, to the vaults. And right away, boom, put in there. And then their scientists and stuff would unbox it, go through it, and do their thing, the testing and all that. Now, there was a gentleman on here that was coming out. I know you've seen him. He ended up disappearing, and then finally they found him gone. He spoke about it. Now, it's very, very odd that this man had all these issues for something that they're saying didn't exist. He was jogging along, looked up there, looked like a human being standing up there, but how can you see a human being so good and clear that you can tell it's somebody up there? So drove up that way, tried to go up it, and there was men in black vehicles and black suits, denied him access to that roadway, told him to turn around and go. And also he was being followed, constant boom, blowing up, being threatened, so on and so forth. Then you could tell someone was in the room when he was doing a stream or a video, denying that any of it was all made up. But then automatically he came back on and saying he was not, and he was forced to say that. And then no more documents. Then family reported him missing, and then next thing you know, he was found. No longer with us. Who would go to the extremes of that? Now, this isn't the only one. Get this. There was a gentleman that seen a doorway, seen something that looked like it was looking out. Very confused. First, he thought he saw the door move, open and close. He thought he saw something. Went up with somebody and seen something. Came running down with I think his wife or somebody. I'm running down, saw something, freaked out, and he was being followed. He was being harassed, but he stopped finally after being freaked out for what he saw. So, and won't explain what he saw. He just said it was very fearful. But he went and moved on, and it's weird how he moved on now. Do I think that they came and approached him and probably threatened him? Yes, as always. Yeah. But I think he's one of the ones that decided to follow through and listen, and because he has a family to protect. But that's not the only one. We can go farther back to others that have seen things and found things and silent, even taken out. But that's not it. We can go even farther back. And there was Nephilim, even then. And even farther back, the Native Americans that have fought off Nephilim, even taking out a good bit of a tribe and then making a cave in and caving a bunch of them inside. The stories go farther and farther back to even the Knight's time, to even farther back than that, and even farther back than that to Noah's time, Noah and the Ark. And it goes even farther back. So you gotta think and consider, how is it something you're saying that isn't real and it's not true, but yet there's a long history of it. Long history from many, and it's not just, I'm just not talking about from over here, we're talking about from overseas and even farther. Uh, Apparently, there is an island that's all Nephilim. It's just insane to not sit there and think, what if our government is constantly lying to us? Now, do I believe they're going to come out and say, hey, there's Nephilim out here? Yeah, there's giants. Yada, yada, yada. Now, I do believe what they're going to do is incite it to be, hey, yeah, there were giants. Yes, there's giant bones found, and so on and so forth. But hey, no, we found no reason to believe that they still exist. That's how I believe the narrative is going to run. But I don't think it's going to last long. I believe that eventually it is going to come out to, hey, this is what's going on. This is what we know. We thought this was this, and it's turning out to be this. Do I believe that 100% it's going to be that narrative? Yes. Oh, yes. I know for a fact. That's how the government plays deflection. They deflect everything of not knowing. It came to our attention all of a sudden that it ended up being that they still exist. So on and so forth. Unfortunately, that's just how the government plays. Play games. Excuse me. And then when it comes out, they deflect. They deflect. It's a shameful game and sad. Very freaking sad that they like to play that kind of game. So, Antarctica is same way. They're going to deflect that there's still living beings on this planet living. Have they been here this whole time? Possibility. Have they just came to Earth? I doubt it. But finding out that they're going to admit to, finding temples and finding pyramids and so on and so forth in Antarctica is going to be a big, big freaking break. It's all because of the UFO stuff. Now, I believe that if they would have came out with this, it would have been a whole different situation. Do I believe it would scare them and cause a mass panic? No, I don't believe. Even then, it would have caused a mass panic because so much things was going on even back then that you don't know about that's been covered up. And it's been easily covered up because a lot of people, those people disappeared, passed away and gone. So something easy to deflect and try to hide. Do I believe that the Earth used to be full of Tartarians? Yes, I believe it. Certain cities have been being dug up and found so much. Earthquakes happening and revealing things like this. Yes. Mudslides, water, coming and boom. And yes. Was there advancements back then? Yes. Oh yeah, definitely advancements. It's proven fact. I have seen old video footage that should not exist that show that these people were brilliant minded even back then, because they didn't have TVs, they didn't have technology in a sense where it would take up their mind and destroy it. Their schooling was better. And it showed that the IQ of these people back then just above anything that's nowadays. And so they've created things. And it led it to somewhere that was amazing back then. And then, unfortunately, it was all destroyed. Covered up. Why? Why would it be covered up? Because the advancements were so unbelievable? Or that human testing and extraterrestrial testing and mixing it together was very more likely, yeah. That's just the fact. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. If you've been lied to for a very, very long time, and it's sad. We're not getting the full story. We never have been. And back then, even way, way back then, it was insane because we all got along. We all got along. There was no differences. Every single human being on this earth was equal at one point. Now we're pitted against each other. And it's sickening. It's sickening how we can't get along with a different race or whatever the situation is, where a person doesn't, we're not getting along. And it's sad. It's pathetic. But back then they did. So that's what I'm explaining to you. I'm explaining a lot of things are being told to you nowadays is a lie. A lie. And it's pathetic. We need to get over this, man. Yeah. I believe the next step is going to be mermaids. Like I said, dragons is being revealed. So the next step is going to be mermaids. From what my source says, as is the next step, they're talking about that. Because a lot of things are coming to that. There's going to be a lot more than just mermaids. And I'll look for this day. Because there was a time in history with Pegasus and Medusa and centaurs and such like that, and much more that you were told were mythology and made up or fantasies, or just something made up to make a good book or a good story. Attention, everybody, because things are about to come out. Things are about to come out. And it's about time. It's about time that things start coming out. But I appreciate every single one of you. I thank you. If you are not following me, you should be. If you're not subscribed, definitely do it, because guess what? I got more. I was going to go into more detail about everything, so sorry I'm here and here. Not as bad as I normally am, but it's tomorrow is a whole new day. Tomorrow's a whole new day. We'll see what time I do this. I'm hoping I can do some morning, jumping on here in the morning. About 9 in the morning. So I'm hoping Drunk will be in. I'm not sure about that time though. But if I do, I'm hoping he is. If not, it's going to be 2 to 3 p.m. 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Between there, I should be on. I'm hoping that works out probably better. But I will definitely be 6 or 7 p.m. So I'm hoping everybody jumps on, because I got so much to fill you all in with everything. It's crazy, and that's how long this phone call took, and I apologize for that, because it blew me away. So I hope you all have a great time. Have a great night. Get some sleep. See y'all tomorrow. Have a good night.